Muslims, most of the time where we were encouraged by our holy prophet that when we do good deeds and we are doing them sincerely for God,
Yes.
then the right hand should not know what the left hand should not
Should
know
not.
what the right hand has
Yeah.
given out or has done. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why like I've always done stuff, yes, but then I've rarely been the person who would look for the spotlight. Unless it may be like just by naturally, maybe like in this particular case as well, maybe someone nominated me, then I would come forward and maybe just speak a little bit about some of the work that I've done. Yeah. For me, it's always been just that desire to give back. I personally believe like I've been very privileged in my life. Yes, like I come from a very humble background, or where, of course, like I came from poverty my entire life, from primary school, high school, and university as well. Like I was sponsored. Back in Mombasa, there used to be a scholarship called the Universal Education Trust Fund. That's what I was educated with all throughout my high school. And then when I went to university, I got a bursary from the government, and I also leaned in on help just to educate myself. And after that, after my undergraduate, for my master's, I also got the Shivning Scholarship. Then later the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship for my second master's. So like I feel like I've been blessed in my life. And I just really wanted to give back in a way so that other people in my community who didn't get the same opportunities could also get to benefit from that. And that's what has been driving me. And I've seen a lot of like potential in my community. I've seen a lot of things that require change. And many times I would ask myself, like, what would I want to do as an individual to create a better society and a better environment? Then I would try to also nurture that in other people as well, so that they have the same mindset, so that we can together lead change. So Nguvu Collective is an organization that supports emerging women leaders from marginalized communities to create deep social impact through advocacy training and extensive campaign support. So essentially, we are very rooted in the grassroots and the marginalized. We try to support women so that they can use their voices and they can reclaim power in spaces where they face injustices, in spaces where they've been marginalized, where they've been excluded in development. And most of our change leaders come from across Kenya, working on different issues, from education to health, to gender rights, to sanitation, to climate change and the environment, and also education. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. Our vision and mission essentially is we just really want to see more women in positions of power, and women specifically from the grassroots, because we also believe that the people who are capable of driving change as well are people who have experienced injustices, and they've experienced problems. So they know the solutions that they require to solve those problems because they've been living in them. So most of the women we support are women who have lived experiences of sexual and gender-based violence, lived experiences of discrimination and exclusion, like women with disabilities, lived experiences of, like maybe harassment or discrimination when looking for positions in the public office. Like 3 of our change leaders have vied for public offices back in 2022. But they didn't succeed. They came really close, but they didn't. So for me, some of these women that we work with as Nguvu Collective, some of the experiences also resonate with mine. I've also experienced discrimination back in 2018 when I was nominated, and not just once, but twice, by the then governor of Taita Taveta County, Granton Samboja, for the position of mining, ICT and energy, chief officer, mining, ICT and energy. So like a lot of the experiences resonate with many experiences that other women face across the country. And rightly so, because at the end of the day, we are all Kenyans, and we have these commonalities in the kind of challenges that we experience despite the barriers in terms of coming from different counties or different regions. There are those kind of nuances and commonalities as well that we have. What keeps me going is my personal mantra, which is to create a lasting legacy through empowering with a purpose. It's what makes me wake up every day and somewhere, somehow, sum up the energy to keep moving. Just that belief that there can be a better world, and just that desire in me to just create that lasting legacy that is rooted in empowering others, uplifting others, and working together with others to create change. That's what just drives me. For me, that legacy looks like a Kenya and a world where women are more confident in taking up positions, be it in the private or public sector, positions of leadership, and actually fighting for those positions as well. Because most of the time, as women, we sometimes don't believe that we can do something, and sometimes we tend to be perfectionists. A man will apply for a job, even if they just qualify for 60% of the job description. But a woman would be like, oh, I don't meet all the qualifications. I don't think this job is for me. And that will prevent them from applying. So like, I just envision like leaving a legacy where more women have confidence in themselves, and they're using that to propel themselves, career-wise, propel themselves in the society, propel themselves in the political spaces, and also just using that to nurture the next generation as well that will come after them, so that more of us occupy spaces of power. And we show the world that just because a woman is in a position of power doesn't mean that she's going to bring down a country or a company. We are equally capable of leading and doing something impactful and really great if given the opportunity. It's not something I personally would want to. I would support a woman that I believe, like could fill that position. But personally, like I told you, I think it just stems from, that person in me who like, I can be the person behind things, strategizing, advising a leader. But then for me to take that position myself, I don't see myself doing that. There's a lot of responsibility when you take up a position of leadership. Responsibility that you not only answer to the people that maybe like have elected you or have voted for you, or the people who gave you the position if it's a job, but you also, personally, I believe that you also answer to God. And for me, that's also like one of the scariest things, to err is human, but then also just that thought that also, yes, I have to answer to my Lord, and it's a huge responsibility for the people, and even now to answer to God. It's just a huge thing. So for me personally, I would definitely support someone. I don't mind being a strategist for a decision maker, ensuring that they're well informed in the decisions that they make. And they implement all the kind of right policies and development activities that are relevant for an organization or a country, but not vie for a position myself. That's why for the chief officer for mining, ICT and energy, that's something that I was very passionate about, because I felt like I could really advise the governor and the deputy governor with regards to those particular industries on a county level, and bring in my expertise from my educational background and work experience. I won't say it has come easy. There were many instances where I struggled and faced the same challenges that most women face, which is the imposter syndrome, or just that lack of confidence, where you tell yourself, I'll just keep quiet even if I have ideas. I don't think I can lead. For me, I would say like it's something that I tended to and nurtured. But it was also something that was, I would say, seeded as well by mentors who have come into my life at different stages, both like personal mentors from my family, I look up to my older sisters who also faced their own struggles, but then now like they've really succeeded. Like one of my sisters, she works at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and growing up, like I just saw her slowly working hard to just rise like within the ministry really slowly. Even in her undergrad, she worked really hard, took up help loan as well to pay for her education, and she finished with a first class honors. So like I was always inspired by people within my environment, starting with my family itself, like my father as well, who worked really hard to provide for all of us. And then in my life and in my career, I met really great mentors who seeded that as well. It's no surprise to many people who know me and who come from Mombasa, that when back then we started off an organization called a Swahili Box Hub, there were mentors as well who seeded leadership in me, allowed me to be able to try that out and exercise that, and gave me those spaces. Sometimes I used to share when they would tell me, no, you can do it, just lead this particular session or program. And I really appreciate that people like Ahmed Mawi, Mahmoud Noor, who's now advisor to the governor and the CEO of Swahili Pot Hub, they really, really, I would say, created that space for me to be a leader and to fail so that I could learn and become even a better leader. And I'm learning every day as well. I'm not perfect, but I'm happy with where I am right now, and I would like to grow more. My leadership mantra is definitely just democratic leadership and participatory leadership, ensuring that because I believe that the decisions that I make or the direction that I take any people or any organization will end up impacting on their lives, both as an organization, even their personal lives. People might end up losing jobs, which then will impact their families, and so on and so forth. So whatever direction I take will have an impact. And so for me, I always like to engage with the people that I work with, whether it's those who are the same level as me, or those who are at a level below me. I really believe in that, just engaging with people, listening to them, making them feel seen and heard, and also just role modeling leadership myself as well. So I would definitely say like it's those two when it comes to decision making. But then when it comes to like leading and guiding itself, I would say transformational leadership also. Just ensuring that whatever we do together also results in impact and a positive change in anything that we do. I just have this really, really weird but strong, I would say, so a sense of like trust and belief in God. It's very rare for me to get shaken by the things that happen in my life,
Mm.
be it like maybe like losing a loved one, or losing a job opportunity, or an income generating opportunity, or even like maybe going through a hardship like becoming sick. It's very hard for me to get shaken by that. I'm always this person who, when something bad or negative happens, that's really a trying time, I'll just sit back and I'll just say, like in Arabic, it's called Alhamdulillah. Um, and I will just say, whatever God wills will happen. And everything has a reason. So I always just have trust in that process, even though I don't know the outcome, I don't understand it at that particular moment in time. I always just trust that things will work out. Very few people usually have that, and that's something that I'm proud of, and I always pray to God to continue to strengthen it in me. For me, definitely success would be, like I said, I would one day love to be given an opportunity where I didn't face discrimination and solely based on merit. I was able to, like maybe like become an advisor to different leaders, in both like in the spaces that I have expertise in, which is building really strong strategic partnerships. I have experience in renewable energy, in information technology. So just an opportunity to be like a strategic advisor to those in positions of leadership, solely out of merit, for me like would be success. And then secondly, on a personal level, success to me as well would be seeing all the impactful initiative that I had invested my years of time on actually succeeding. So whether that is the fight against, for example, gender-based violence, which I'm working with so many other people, the fight for like inclusive education and proper development that is bottom up, that would be success for me. Like when I start seeing some of those projects like actually achieving impact. Patience, definitely that. Just trusting in the process and having patience and faith that things will work out. Yeah, and not losing sense of someone's moral compass, because sometimes what happens in life can be very trying and it can test us. But we should try as much as possible to remind ourselves and ground ourselves in our values and beliefs.